Good morning. My name is Bob Staglich, and I'm with Century 21A1 in Burleson, Texas, and we're just south of Fort Worth. For the last couple weeks, I've been doing videos on condominium contracts. Last week we spoke about the declaration, and this week I'm going to talk about the certificate. And in the condominium contract, in section 2C2, this is talking about the certificate. It says the seller shall deliver the certificate to the buyer within so many days after the effective date of the contract. Buyer may cancel the contract before the 6th day after the date buyer receives the certificate. It also has very similar verbiage in section B2 talking about the declaration. And the point I'm making here is that the attorneys that wrote this contract thought it was extremely important for you to have time to view both the declaration and the certificate. The certificate is a two-page document that the seller or the seller's agent will need to deliver to the buyer or the buyer's agent. And in this resale certificate, it basically talks about the financial position of the condominium association, and it also talks about the financial obligations that you're going to have owning the condominium, such as HOA fees on a monthly basis, and if there's any special assessments. Inside of the condominium resale certificate, it talks about the HOA fees, as I said. It talks about capital expenditures, which is projects that the condominium might be getting ready to spend money on in the future. It will talk about capital reserves, how much money they have in reserve to do repairs. It will talk about their operating budget, how much money they have and where the money is allocated every month. It will also talk about judgments, if there's any judgments against the condominium association. It will talk about if there's any lawsuits against the condominium association. I actually was representing a seller in a condominium transaction a couple years back, and the condominium association had a lawsuit against a roofing company. And because of that lawsuit, the lender who was lending the money for the buyer would not do the deal. The lawsuit was strictly a turnoff, and they wouldn't do the deal. Also, in the condominium resale certificate, it'll talk a little bit about the insurance. So once again, this is all the financial statistics of what's going on at the condominium. Once again, this is a document that the seller or the seller's agent should provide to the buyer or the buyer's agent. It's a two-page document, and on the second page, there it says required attachments. So required to be attached to this document would be the operating budget, the insurance summary, and a balance sheet. I can't emphasize the importance of this. Once again, if you have any questions, please reach out to me. Next week, we're going to do a video. We're going to continue the series talking about condominium HOAs, what all they include and cover, and special assessments. Special assessments are also very important as well. Thanks for tuning in, and see you next week.